Welcome back, Weight Warriors. I'm Mike. I'm a fat guy who's trying to not be fat anymore by making lifestyle changes. And in this video, we just finished up week number 28 of my personal weight loss journey, where I'm implementing 3 keys to success in some form or variation throughout the entire year, trying to, again, improve my health sustainably. So when I lose the weight, this time I keep it off so I don't yo-yo diet like I've always done in the past. And those 3 keys to success that I'm talking about is number 1 is nutrition, the most important. Number 2 is activity, which is, movement. Then 3 is accountability, which again is very important for me to stay on track in my weight loss journey. And for the current stage I'm in right now for my weight loss journey, the key number 1 objective that I have with nutrition is trying to eat at least 500 calorie deficit per day on average. I also have another piece of this nutrition that I'm trying to get at least 200 grams of protein per day. And this is to help mitigate any muscle loss and really help me feel satiated so I don't feel as hungry while I'm in a calorie deficit. Key number 2, the goal and objective I have with activity, is I'm trying to walk at least 12,000 steps per day so I stay very active. And then I'm also trying to do at least 4 resistance training sessions per week to, again, combat any muscle loss and possibly even build muscle. If I can do a bit of a recomp in this time, that'd be great. But really the big thing is, again, 12,000 steps and then 4 resistance training sessions per week. And then key number 3 is accountability. And number 1, the first objective, is getting out a video to the Weight Warriors channel weekly to update you guys on how I'm doing so I stay accountable to you. So thank you so much for those of you who subscribe and comment and really all the help that you give me. I really appreciate it. It makes it a lot easier for me to stay on track when I know that you're waiting for a video every week. The next objective I have with the third key to success is I also have a nutritional coach that I'm checking in with weekly to make sure that my diet's in check, and he's helping me with kind of the strategy with a lot of the stuff I'm talking about in this video. And then the other objective with accountability, that third key to success, is I'm also meeting with a personal trainer when I work out with those 4 resistance sessions per week. And he's helping me a lot when it comes to my technique, my, really making sure I'm getting a good workout, working the right muscles, and making the best use of my time while I'm in the gym. So week 28 went really well, definitely better than week 27, where I didn't really hit my calorie goals or my mobility goals. It was a pretty bad week last week, but this week with my TDEE around somewhere in the 2,915 with a 500 calorie deficit, I should be at least 2,415. So as you can see, with 2,393 calories per day on average, I did good with that. So that's a pass when it comes to my caloric intake and really having a calorie deficit. Next up, with the first key to success in nutrition, it was protein. So I got so close to my goal of 200 grams of protein per day with 199.8 grams of protein, 0.2 away from my goal. I'm so close, but that's still a fail. I mean, I could round up, I guess, but I really want to make sure that I'm getting, maybe it's just a personal thing. It's like I want to make sure I'm hitting the numbers exactly how I'm planning to do it in my head. I'm an engineer, it's a problem, I know, but I would still say this is a fail. Next week, I am determined to get at least 200 grams of protein in on average per day. Moving on to my second key to success, which is activity, and how I did last week. It went really well. Looking at how I did in week 28 for my activity, I did much better than week 27. Again, I increased my steps to averaging 13,294 steps per day, which is great. As you can see, I did miss my step count 2 of the days, which I'm noticing a bit of a continual repeat issue behind, my steps. And I'm trying to hit 12,000 per day, but some days I find it really hard to hit those because of whether I'm busy, and especially as you kind of see the Wednesday, Thursday, it's after leg day, so my legs are sore, and then I also have just a busier work schedule on those days, so it makes it a bit more challenging to hit those. But then I feel like it's okay if I make up for it on Saturday. Like you see, I hit over 20,000 steps, and then today I'm already over 15,000 steps. So I think it's okay to catch up on the steps as long as I maintain that average of 12,000 per day throughout the week. But I'm still going to track and report back to you guys when I don't hit that 12,000 every single day. After steps, when it comes to my activity with working out in the gym and my 4 resistance training sessions per week, obviously hit those. Met with my trainer actually 5 times. We're consistently meeting 5 times a week, so I even got an extra session in. Next up, we have the third key to success, which is accountability. As you see, this video is going out on time again, so that's another check. Got that one done. And then also I met with my personal trainer, so that was a check. And I met with my nutritional coach and actually did what he said this week. So again, check. And then above and beyond, I also met with some of the other Weight Warriors who are in the accountability program. And it's completely free, by the way. If you want to join the accountability program, you can either reach out on Facebook or comment down below, where I'm taking on more people. We're trying to be accountability partners with each other to hold each other other, again, accountable to our weight loss journey and make sure our efforts aren't completely being wasted. So if you want to join that, definitely join the Facebook group, reach out to me. I'd love to, have more people working with me on that. I think it's just going to be fun. But I also did meet with some of the accountability people last week. So that was, again, a check and pass. When it comes to that objective, that was a pass. So like I said, looking at week 28, all things considered, it was almost green across the board passing. And, except for I would say that was a fail. I did not quite get the protein intake that I'm aiming for. So close. I will definitely hit it this next week. I'm very confident with that. But overall, very pleased with how week 28 went. But I do want to note something that, as you can see, and I bring this picture back up here for looking at my tracking. My weight kind of, well, it went down and then it kind of went back up. And I've been tracking everything. And if I were to share my daily food logs, you would see for the most part I'm eating very clean. I do have the occasional day where I go out to eat. Actually, to be exact, I on average am going out to eat 4 times per week, which again, for my lifestyle, that's just kind of what I got to do right now. I don't have, I would say, 2 hours a day or really 10 hours per week to spend in the kitchen. I've just got too much else going on. And so for that, I am tracking everything, of course, but I really struggle when I go out to eat, trying not to have things that are too high in fat or high in oil. I tried to pick the lean protein and the veggie options. But at the end of the day, there's just a ton of sodium in that stuff. And I think my body is retaining more water. Obviously, I'm aware that I'm in more of a recomp than just a cut, meaning that my body is putting on muscle as I've just started doing resistance training the last few weeks. But I would have expected to lose more weight off the scale. But one thing that I get reminded frequently from my nutritional coach and my personal trainer is that, I should be slimming down, of course, which I am. And I'll start sharing some of those measurements as I go, which are pretty impressive, especially around my midsection. But I would have absolutely expected my weight to go down. And it's a good reminder to know that the number on the scale absolutely does not matter. And it does not reflect how healthy you are. It doesn't, definitely doesn't reflect, really if you're in good shape. Because, for an example, if you are familiar with Chris Bumstead and I are almost the same weight and height, but we do not look the same. Bruh. That happens because Chris has a ton of muscle on his frame and I have a lot of fat. And so really it's far more important the fat percentages and how much fat I have versus really the number on the scale. So I keep trying to remind myself that as I see that the scale really hasn't gone down. In fact, the number on the scale hasn't even gone down as low as it was in April when I finished my first cut, my first diet, the diet, first version. And so it's a little discouraging not to see that number go down when I'm weighing myself every single day, but I'm trying to remember that this is about long-term healthy choices that's going to be sustainable. And again, I'm putting muscle on and hopefully taking fat off. And definitely, again, I'm losing inches in my waist and midsection. So I know good things are happening, but it's still it's just a hard mental thing to get over, not seeing that number go down on the scale. So actions this week, I am going to drop my intake of calories down slightly, so increase my calorie deficit. My goal this week is to hit 2,315 calories per day on average. So increasing that deficit slightly, I think is fine, especially because really my energy level has been high again. My sleep's been good. I feel like I've completely adapted to the increase in demand of physical activity and adding the resistance training. So I'm comfortable increasing the deficit right now and at least seeing how things go over this next week. Next, I'm asking everyone who watches, especially up to this point, comment down below, what do you suggest that I do to try to balance the demand of my time and not eat out as much? I can try some meal prepping stuff, but if you have any suggestions or other YouTubers that you like who are doing meal prepping or any tips around that, let me know, because at this point I'm trying to minimize how often I eat out, but like I said, I just don't have that much time. So what do you recommend? I'm honestly curious what you have to say. Please comment down below and we'll see you next week.